welcome back. It has been way too long. I think it's been over a month since I posted anything, but I am going to be posting regularly now. So we started this cake before, but there was something wrong with the cake. It wasn't baked thoroughly, so we put it on the side and we baked a fresh cake for the customer and stuff. So we have an extra cake, so we're just gonna decorate it and have fun with it. Let's see where that goes. Okay, so this was the half slab cake that we had, but there were some places where it wasn't baked properly, so we just put it aside and we made everything fresh. So let's decorate this. This cake is just for display, just for sample. It's not for eating. Nobody's gonna eat this. It is just to decorate. So don't worry too much about it, okay? Okay, we've cleared up the sides. For the base, I'm going to go for a light pink, or I don't know. Let's see. I think I'll do a yellow. I'll do a yellow this time. Yeah. This is my buttercream. As you can see, it's not the softest. To this, I'm gonna add some yellow. Over here, I have some extra yellow buttercream, so I'm just gonna use it over here. Okay, as you can see, it's not the softest, it's a little bit hard, so I'm gonna pop it in the microwave for 20 seconds. It's not too, it's a little bit jiggly, not too much. I'm not making it super bright yellow, just keeping it at a light pastel shade. Maybe I'll add a little bit more. Okay, this is a good yellow. Fill it up in the piping bag. Just take an X-Acto knife or whatever, cutter, cut the tip. Okay, this is an offset spatula and a cake scraper. Bring our cake back to center stage, and we're gonna start icing from one side. Okay, so let me show you. Keep the cake flat, start from the bottom, one line, go around, second line, go around, third line, around. That's the base line for the entire cake. Then you go for the middle one. Okay. The middle one. You can also do the top one along with it. I have cut the cake because there were some imperfections in it. That's the top one. Still suggest making a proper border and everything, because that will give you uniform thickness. Now I am falling short of buttercream clearly, so instead of going back and forth, I'm just going to make some more, and then I'll make some more, and then I'll flatten everything. I may have made a shade little bit brighter, but I think that's okay. Everything in the bag. Here I'm just making the border first, and then just gonna fill it up. For the rest, I'm just going to put dollops of buttercream because I'm gonna smoothen it out. Now first start from the top. Just smoothen everything out. You can use a bigger spatula. I like using a smaller one because it gives me more controlled movements. If the cake is a chocolate one, like this one, please be careful that there are no crumbs in the frosting. Even if there are, it's okay, we can work with it, but try not to have any crumbs for a better finished look. I usually use frozen cakes so that it's easy. I stack frozen cakes so that it's easier and there are no crumbs in it, but in this case we do have a few, so I will have to carefully take them out. Don't worry about the finishing touches for the top. We can do it later. Now for the sides, I would suggest just using the comb. You keep it, okay, and then you keep it here, and then you just drag it straight, drag it. Let me show it to you once again. So you keep it straight, it has to be touching the cake board, and then you just drag. Now you know where are the deficits. You see there's deficits here, here in the corners. Once you know more or less where your borders are going to be, we can smoothen the whole thing out. Let me show you how. Okay, so you see this one. First of all, I'm gonna add some buttercream wherever I feel that we have less. That is especially in the corners. Okay, keep an overhang. Keep some extra buttercream. Okay, now smoothen the top first, and then with the spatula merge it in. Okay, and give it a, just fix one side first. Wherever you see there is extra buttercream, fix it. Okay, so this side looks pretty good. There's no deficits. Every time you go over with the comb, make sure there's no buttercream on the comb. So that way if there's buttercream on the comb, you will have extra buttercream like this. So to prevent that, just have no buttercream on the comb. Okay, now let's go to this one. As you can see, there's so many empty gaps. So first, let's fill up those. Okay, you have a few on the top. You have a few over here. Okay, and now we will go over it. So when you bring it out, you slide it straight, and just leave it. Let it form this little tail over here. Okay, this or extra buttercream, let it form that. Now you can see we have one side, we have the second side. Over here we have a little air bubble, we have a little gap. So we're gonna fill that up. Go over it. Now this extra buttercream, just pick it up like this. Hello. Okay, you can just pick up this extra buttercream just with your spatula. Okay, so we almost have two sides. Now the third side, same thing as before. Fill up the gaps, smoothen it out. Make sure you have enough buttercream at the corners. Okay, over here there is some deficient. Just slap it on. Don't worry about which direction it's going. Okay, now this tail that you have, let me find a better angle to show you guys. This tail, this one, you just drag it in along with the rest of the buttercream. Okay, so now this corner, you got this corner. Now this one, that's it. This tail, drag it here. Okay, now we only have one side left, two sides, the side and the top. Of course, I'm gonna add my buttercream over here, and again I'm gonna take the tail in, drag it along, and see, now this is the last tail. I'm gonna pull this in again, take out the excess, pull it in, and that's it. So you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 sides of the cake. We will get to the top. Let's come back to the top portion of it. Okay. Now, whatever corners you see, take it in, clean the spatula. Take it in, clean the spatula. Okay. This corner, instead of going straight, go diagonally inside. Okay, that will help you form that corner. Now over here, take it in. When you're taking it in, keep it at an angle, inwards angle, and drag. Now this corner, as I said, from the corner. Okay. Now over here, I see there's a little deficit. So whatever I dragged in, I'm just going to add it up on top over here, and then I'm gonna drag it in. So this wherever you see a gap, just add some buttercream over there, and then you can take, so now you can see the edges are pretty good. Then you just put your spatula and at one end, just drag the whole thing in. Clean it. Go again. Clean it. Go again. So that gives you a flat top. Now if you see that there are these lines, just go over it with your small spatula and merge all the lines. Now as you can see, because we did that, the lines became a little crooked, so we're going to go over that again. So we go in from the side first. Okay, go in from the side first, and then take that corner in. Don't go over it too many times. just enough that you are satisfied, otherwise it will take forever. Okay, now there's just one side I'm not too happy with. Okay, that is your basic yellow cake. Now let's clean up a little bit. Now you just take a paper towel and you drag it along the corner to take off all the excess buttercream. For bigger slab cakes, I would highly suggest using thicker boards, because if you're making a cake with buttercream and if you put it in the refrigerator, butter hardens, right? So if you lift it, you will find cracks along the border, along the corners of your cake. So I would highly suggest using a thicker board so that you can minimize the cracks. If you do not have access to a thicker board, but you have a few thin boards, you can stack them one upon the other, glue them together and use them as one board. Okay. So the corners are pretty clean. Now, for the border, what would you suggest? I think I would go with purple.
I like helping people, Johnny. I love helping people. You obviously.
Okay. Now I am going with my gut. There are so many combinations that I want to try, but I'm not sure which ones I want to try. So I'm going to go with my gut. Let's see what happens. Okay. Buttercream. We need a lot of red. I just took the yellow out in a bowl. Be careful, the food coloring does change the flavor of the frosting. So I would highly suggest using intense deep shades just for borders and not as the main filling or the main flavor. Now I have a feeling that this is extra soft. Okay, so I'm gonna add when your frosting is too soft, when your frosting is too soft, if you have a portion of regular consistency frosting or a thicker consistency frosting, just add a little bit of thicker consistency to the thinner one, and it's going to make everything come together really, really well. But just make sure that you take out all the lumps from it. this shark teeth one is one of my favorite tips, so I'm gonna be using this one. I don't know why I like it so much. Clean up some red if there is anything on the table, otherwise it's gonna make everything red, your clothes, your hands. Add your frosting to the bag. The tip. Let's start decorating. I think we can start from here. Okay. Press, release, press, release. Okay, that's the top border. Now we come to the bottom one. It's like you press and then you release, press and release. And when you release, you have to stop. And when you press, every time you put the same amount of pressure. And I refill the bag. I take the air bubble out until there's a smooth stream of frosting coming out of the bag. Okay. After this, same bowl, you take some blue. You can choose what shades of red, yellow and blue you want to use. For this cake, let's see. It's a little light. Let's go with this. I'm taking this tip. It's a star tip. It's a open star tip. So you take this, you start from here. Okay, so you make a round. That's the bottom. Now for the top. Same, press and pull. Okay, that's the top border. Same S but a little bit inside. Taking a plain writing tip. I'm gonna start putting some cherries.